Hi, this is your Athens, Georgia Townie Weather Girl, and I'm here today to talk with you about the weather. Alright, so we have some really exciting stuff happening right now with the weather world. Whether we're going to see the same kind of repeat as we did last week, there's a lot of question marks about that right now, and I've been hesitant to make any kind of call on what kind of precipitation, if we're even going to get precipitation in the coming week. Because there's a lot of moving pieces, and this is a little trickier system than even was the one we were looking at last week. So we'll start with conditions today in Athens. We're looking at it right now, high around 45 or so degrees outside. Tonight we should see a low down into the 30s, and then tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to get a high up into the low 50s, around 51 degrees here at Athens, Georgia. And from there, the temperature is going to drop. It's going to get frigid cold Sunday. So throughout the afternoon, we're going to see those temperatures fall down into the 30s and down to 20s. And overnight, we could see temperatures in the low 20s or even the teens here in Athens, Georgia. So it's going to be extremely, this will be the coldest temperatures we've seen all year. Now, I'm going to probably harp on this a little bit here and there in this video. If you are in a house situation or apartment or whatever, and you have a kitchen sink or a bathroom sink that is on an exterior wall, then you need to make sure Sunday night that you leave that faucet dripping, just dripping every now and then. So you want to have it dripping because you don't want it's going to get so cold outside that the cold could permeate through the wall and cause your pipes to freeze. And then what happens when anything water freezes, it expands and your pipes break, and now you have a huge expense. So and a mess to clean up on top of that. So make sure you leave your faucets. In fact, you can leave all your faucets dripping. It won't hurt anything on Sunday night, and as well Monday night and Tuesday night too. So we're going to see some very, very cold temperatures. Okay, so Monday rolls around. We're going to see high into, we think, into the mid-30s. It may or may not get that high Monday. We'll have to see. Monday night, we're going to see again lows get down into the mid to low 20s here in Athens, Georgia. All right, so let's talk about any precipitation, because that's been a big question mark on my mind, and we're just really unsure and unclear what the trough that is out in the right over Texas area and the low pressure system associated with it. We're not sure of the track of that. Right now, models are still in the long-term range, meaning that we're looking at global products like the GFS, the Euro, the Canadian, to kind of guide us on this. And they're sometimes helpful, and they're really helpful with things like this big blast of Arctic air. We've seen that coming for a while, and the models have been like right on top of that. Precipitation, though, is another matter. They're not so good at predicting what kind of precipitation we're going to have, or where it's going to go. So that's going to be a little more in the wheelhouse of our short-range models like the NAM, RV3, the HRRR, and we'll have a little better view of these systems like by tomorrow, Sunday. But as of right now, the global models are beginning to come into agreement. So this is a GFS model, and you can see here the very light blue area. This is Athens is literally on the very borderline of this. So the light blue area means that there's not a lot of saturation there, not going to be a whole lot fall, if at all any, meaning a trace. So the GFS has us either whiffing, no snow, or just a tiny amount of snow. And that snow would begin falling sometime, let me get my dates right here. This will be Tuesday into Wednesday, and it would leave the area. In fact, GFS had just a very brief period of basically flurries overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. And then after that, everything clears out, and we're getting back into looking at really, really cold temperatures. We'll take a look at the Euro model next. And so the Euro model has maybe a slightly more amount of snow and for a slightly longer duration than the GFS, but again, we're just barely looking at maybe a trace to a half inch of snow, if that. And that snow event doesn't last that incredibly long either, maybe about 6 hours. So very, very light snow over a very short amount of time. The thing is, we look at these potentials for snowfall is that whatever falls on the ground is going to freeze and stick to whatever it lands on, including asphalt, including concrete. Our roads are going to be covered in a very frozen mess. So, you know, just it's going to be a little different setup from what we had last week. With last week, we had, you know, a couple inches of snowfall that morning. And for those, I mean, I was on a four-wheel drive pickup truck, and I had a lot of weight in the back, and I have snow tires on, so I was able to get around just fine. And I rescued a couple of people out here on the west side who were stuck. However, the event that we're looking at coming into next week is going to be a little different, because the temperatures are going to be so cold, the ground temperatures are going to be frozen. It's going to be a little harder. I personally will probably not be getting out in it, and I'm pretty confident driving in snow. It's just going to be a really hazardous condition driving Tuesday into Wednesday, so I'd advise planning to not go anywhere. Okay, we're looking at the Euro model, so we're going to look at the Canadian, and the Canadian for the last several days has it's been showing a bomb of snow for North Georgia, Atlanta, Athens area, Macon. However, today's noon run has it move away from that and move closer towards the European and GFS model. So it's again showing a lighter band of precipitation coming across Georgia, rather than the dark blue heavy band that we've been seeing for some time. And so this is this is going back to a previous model run. You can see the dark blue band here. The last several runs have seen it a little closer into our area, but it's moved away from that this run. So that's interesting. All right, so we'll look at the GDPS model. Here, the GDPS, just let me slide the screen over just a little bit. And this is going to be, again, showing a little bit of precipitation, but not a whole lot for the Athens, Georgia area. Maybe a half to an inch or so of rain, of snow. Looking at the SKU-T here, we can see here that the green line is the dew point and the red line is the air temperature. When these things are far apart, like they are up here, that means that there's dry air and there's no saturation, there's no precipitation. So you see that gap all the way down until the, around the 500 millibar area. Now we get it a little closer together. So whatever falls, it's just not going to, there's not going to be a lot of saturation in the air, which is consistent with the fact that we have this really cold, dry air moving in from Canada. So that's kind of why we're seeing a little drier air down in our area. Whatever does fall, it's going to be well in the freezing area. So this dotted blue line that you see my mouse pointer going up right now, this is the freezing line in the atmosphere. At no time does any of this cross over the freezing line. So if anything does develop and fall in the atmosphere, it's going to fall to the ground as frozen whatever snow, and it's going to stick to the ground. All right, so we just looked at the GDPS model. We're going to look at the Euro AI model, and I'm having a little work done upstairs, so it's a little noisy. The Euro AI model shows the bulk of this precipitation going well further south than any of the other models go right now. And in fact, it has zero precipitation for us here in the Macon, Atlanta, and Athens, Georgia specifically. So Euro AI says no snow, no nothing for us other than cold temperatures. Look at the icon. The icon is, again, another long-range model. And the icon basically has another huge whiff for us here in the Athens, Georgia area. In fact, basically all the way down until, Tifton and Valdosta, that, Savannah, they might see something, but for us, nothing at all. Okay, we're going to look at some of the high-res models right now. This is the FV3. Right now, the FV3 run is not fully developed yet, so we don't really have it. So you can start to see the frozen precipitation way over here in East Texas. So this is a high-res model, and I'm going to show you another high-res model. It's kind of a not very realistic high-res model. It's the NAM 32K. In fact, the NAM 3K sometimes is not that realistic, but 32K is going to be funny, and you'll see why in a second. So by tomorrow we should have HRRR, the FV3, and the NAM model. Those high-res models should be coming more into focus, and that'll give us a better idea of the track and duration of any precipitation. Okay, I'm going to show you the NAM 3K, NAM 32K. This is what we call a clown map. This is showing a pretty heavy band of precipitation that's moving across Alabama into mid and North Georgia. I don't think this is what's going to happen. I think this is just, I don't know, it's just funny. But, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It could happen. The Canadian has not been that far off from what this NAM 32K model has been showing right here. So Canadian's been pretty consistent of having a much heavier band of precipitation over Athens. But it looks like the Canadian is starting to cave to the other models here as of noon today. We'll have to see how that plays out later tonight and tomorrow, and tonight's midnight's run around 12 midnight or so. So we'll see. That is really all I have to share with you right now. It's hard to predict right now, but my projection is that we're going to see a trace to maybe a half, maybe an inch of snow at the very best. And there's I don't want to say that's a really confident chance that we're going to get snow. I feel there's probably like a 50 to 55, 60% chance that we'll see something. And if we do see anything, it's going to be a very small amount. I wouldn't worry about getting your sleds all ready to go, because I just don't think there's going to be enough snow on the ground for that to be a thing. And the other thing I want to remind is about your pipes and your water. Make sure you leave your water faucets dripping Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, until we start warming up a bit, until those low temperatures at night come up out of the low 20s and a little higher up. Also, be sure to leave your faucets dripping, because that's going to be a thing. Plan on not driving if we have any precipitation fall at all on like Monday night, Tuesday night. It's going to stick and freeze to whatever it is it lands on, including roadways. It's going to be very, very treacherous to drive on, so please plan to not drive if we do see any snow at all on Tuesday night. So that's it for now. I'll do another weather update sometime tomorrow once we have a clear idea of what it is we're looking at, and we should have a little more confidence with whether we're going to get any snow or not by certainly by this time tomorrow. So that's it for now. Take care, and we'll see you next time.